This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Cafe Bella Vista Restaurant and Pizzeria. Ozito, give it a go with Ozito. Refresh Pure Water. And Reading Cinemas, experience the difference.
Hello Australia, welcome to episode 508 of The Couch, our second last show for the year, and we're going out in a big way, music-wise. We've got Alfredo Malobella. Well, check out actually who's coming up on the show. Here you go. There he is there. He was on The Couch a few years ago. He's back from Sydney performing for us live on the show today. Later on, Annie Kay presents her last Kids Biz for 2014. And we've got Dennis Lord talking to us about stress over Christmas and how to deal with it. And our very own stressful travel man, Steve Collins, comes in for a chat. We have got a very big show. Alfredo Malobella, please stay with us. He's going to sing next.
It's showtime on the couch. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can watch it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. Oh, it's showtime on the couch.
Alfredo Malobella is an amazing, talented actor, songwriter, performer, and just a great guy. He's come back from Sydney just for a small time here in Perth, and we've been given the privilege of having him perform on the show today. He's got a brand new album called Reflections, which we'll tell you more about later. But to open the show today, he sings a beautiful Italian song called La Prima Cosa Bella. Here's Alfredo.
Ho preso la chitarra e suono per te. Il tempo di imparare, no, non so suonare, ma suono per te. La senti questa voce che canta il mio cuore? Amore, 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 è quello che so dire, ma tu mi capirai. I prati sono in fiore, profumi anche tu. Ho voglia di morire, non posso più cantare, non chiedo di più. La prima cosa bella che ho avuto nella vita è il tuo sorriso, giovane sei tu. Tra gli alberi una stella, la notte si è schiarita, il cuore innamorato sempre più, sempre più. La senti questa voce che canta il mio cuore? Amore, 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 è quello che so dire, ma tu mi capirai. I prati sono in fiore, profumi anche tu. Ho voglia di morire, non posso più cantare, non chiedo di più. La prima cosa bella che ho avuto nella vita è il tuo sorriso, giovane sei tu. Tra gli alberi una stella, la notte si è schiarita, il cuore innamorato sempre più, sempre più. La senti questa voce che canta il mio cuore? Amore, 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 è quello che so dire, ma tu mi capirai. mi capirai. Ma tu mi capirai. Ma tu mi capirai. Ma tu mi capirai.
You've got to love that amazing voice. He'll be back at the end of the show and he'll also do an interview with our very own Nisha very soon. But he's got the new album, which you see on screen right now. It's called Reflections. Alfredo Malabello. He'll be performing for us later a Christmas song. So please stay tuned. Please support him and we'll tell you details of how you can get the album as well. Okay. Kids Biz has been a wonderful segment for 2014. We've had an 11-year-old presenter. She's just truly amazing. Today she's got some more young kids with her for her final Kids Biz for 2014. Let's welcome back to Annie Kay. Over to you.
Hi everyone and welcome to Kids Biz. This is our last episode for the year. With me today I have Michelle, Lauren and Clemmy and we'll be talking about some issues that youth face. So in today's world, beauty is quite important. I sometimes wonder why we can't just accept who we are and be okay with that. We should know that each person is an individual and that we each have our strengths and flaws. So Michelle, why do we care about how we look?
Well, when you first meet someone, you judge them on your first appearance. Naturally, we care what we look like. The media has put an unrealistic standard of beauty, which we want to conform to. And when we don't, we feel disappointed in ourselves.
So where do we see this ideal body image?
Well, from a young age, we're exposed to the perfect figure through Barbie dolls and Disney movies. And as we get older, we keep seeing these images through TV, commercials, movies, and billboards.
So how can we encourage people to be okay with who they are?
People just have to realise that what we are seeing is not real. They're images made with Photoshop and they do not represent what most people actually look like. People come in all different shapes and sizes and everyone is different.
A lot of young people like us don't realise that we are different and we make comments based on this ideal look, but we're not all Barbies. So Lauren, where do people make hurtful comments?
People make hurtful comments on all social media platforms, for example Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. But you can also find them on gaming websites, online chat rooms and social forums.
Why do people feel the need to put someone down?
People feel the need to put someone down to inflict pain that they receive themselves onto others. Most people that cyberbully have experienced mental or physical abuse and try to inflict their emotions onto other people.
So let's say that you post a picture that you are not happy with and you don't feel like it represents you. Can you actually take it down?
Yes, you can delete any comment and status on any social media account using their settings. However, photos and comments that are on the internet stay on there forever.
So sometimes hurtful comments like these may lead to suicide. And suicide is the leading cause of death in 15 to 44-year-old Australians. And self-harm often precedes suicide. Clemmy, can you tell me why people feel the need to self-harm?
Well, self-harm may be to release the emotional tension or build-up of emotions, to release the feelings of loneliness or isolation inflicted by peers, or as a form of self-punishment because you do not believe that you fit the media's perceptions, or to gain a feeling of control over your own life and determine your own pain threshold.
So why are people so embarrassed by this issue?
Most young people suffering from self-harm are reluctant to talk about it and hide their behaviour. This is because they may feel embarrassed and feel that people may look down on them or isolate them. And they feel they should be strong enough to cope with their own issues.
So where can people get help?
There are several ways to deal with your own self-harm. You can talk to someone such as a family member or a trusted friend. If you do not feel comfortable discussing this, then you can call a helpline, such as Lifeline or Youthline. You must recognise when you do and don't self-harm, and this can help you recognise when the emotional build-up or situations that build self-harm. You can distract yourself and try to focus on other things, such as taking a shower, having something to eat, and you can write your emotions down in a diary and help you record what builds up to self-harm. Then you must get help, visit a GP or someone who recognises teenage health, such as a psychologist.
So thanks for being with me today, Michelle, Lauren and Clemmy. And remember that peer pressure is not acceptable and shouldn't be tolerated. And you should not let yourself be affected by what people think of you, because the only opinion that matters is yours. For more information, go to the Couch website, thecouch.com.au. Have a great Christmas and see you next year.
There you go, Annie Kay. Thank you very much, guys, for being on the show today, and we'll look forward to having you in 2015 for brand new episodes of Kids Biz. Someone that doesn't have any brand new things is our very own Steve Collins, talking travel right after the break on the couch. See you then.
This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Cafe Bella Vista Restaurant and Pizzeria. Azito, give it a go with Azito. Refresh Pure Water. And Reading Cinemas, experience the difference.
Welcome back to The Couch here on Aurora Television around Australia and, of course, Face TV in New Zealand. With us again is our good friend from Radio Roaming, Steve Collins. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Fred. Lovely to be here.
And
It's
you
such
know what?
a joy.
I live with you at 6PR.
Yeah.
I now have you here on the couch.
Yeah.
When are we moving in together?
Well, I don't know, but we'll compare houses to see who's
I
got the
think
best
so.
house. How's
and
that?
at least we go on good holidays.
Oh, we can, yeah. We
Good
can
on you.
organise that.
What have we got today? You got another big segment?
Yeah, I thought we'd go to the south coast of New South Wales. Sorry, not the south coast, the Southern Highlands
Why?
of New South Wales. Because it's absolutely beautiful
When we're
down
talking
there.
about the Highlands, where are they?
Well, they're down about an hour and a half south of Sydney. Well, I suppose it depends where you live in Sydney, because if you're on the North Shore, it's a lot longer. But they're a lot higher because the Southern Highlands part of the Great Dividing Range.
So it's not like the Blue Mountains in that area.
Not as dramatic country as a Blue Mountains, but certainly very, very beautiful. But it is one of the few temperate climates in mainland Australia, of course, because Tasmania has a temperate climate. But it means that where they are in the Southern Highlands, because of the height and because they get a lot of rain, they have some wonderful gardens down there. And when you go and see the foliage, it's entirely different. It's more of a European foliage, and they get the autumn colours, you know, those beautiful oranges and reds of the leaves, and the trees are deciduous. So it's a really wonderful place.
How long did you spend there?
I spent a few days. I've been there because I come
Few
from
times.
Sydney originally.
Oh,
I
okay,
came
you're a
there,
Sydney-sider.
Yeah, originally been there. One of the first places I went was at Thirlmere. It's called Trainworks, and it's the Railway Museum. And this is it, and this is fantastic. If you like trains, this is just a brilliant place to go. Because I grew up with the trains. This is a Bayer Garrett. This is the biggest locomotive ever built in Australia. It's just a massive,
Obviously
great
no
big
longer
thing.
running.
No longer running. Well,
Just
they
a
don't have
museum.
steam anywhere, but they do run steam trains from this every Sunday. They run a little stream
okay,
service.
that looks
Look at this
awesome.
little bus. This was done up by some apprentices, and it's just a cute little thing. Used to do the little country routes. Just a fantastic little train, and it's just wonderful. There's all this sort of stuff there. They've got the royal carriages for when the Queen came in 1954. Oh, you should see
Can
the
you go
bed
in
that
and
she
have a
and
look?
Phil had. Was pretty good.
Is it somewhere you can go as a tourist and pay and go in and
you
or
pay.
anything?
I think it's about $12 for
Cheap.
me to go in there. If you've got a concession card, you get a concession, of course. But it's just wonderful. They've got films there, but you can wander around. It's massive, and it's continuing to grow. They've got a big roundhouse where you go and they're working on all these carriages. And
Accommodation
locomotives.
as well?
There is accommodation quite nearby in the Southern Highlands, because you're not all that far from Mittagong, which is really the start of the Southern
Mittagong.
Highlands. Mittagong, is the start of the Southern Highlands, and there's a very, very good visitor centre there. Just beyond Mittagong, 6 k's, is the town of Bowral. Now, Bowral is a very, very historic place. Bowral is a beautiful place. Probably best known for the Bradford Museum. See, now there
that
is
Mary
Mary
Poppins?
Poppins, because P.L. Travers, who wrote Mary Poppins, she lived in Bowral for a while.
wow,
She was born in
wonderful.
Queensland, but she went there. But this is it. This is the Bradford Museum. It's got the International Cricket Hall of Fame. This is fantastic.
Beautiful.
I thought, I walked around it before to open. I said, well, it's not very big, but when you get inside, it's just amazing. Even if you don't have an interest in cricket,
It's
this is
awesome to
so
see.
inspiring to go
A lot of
in
people
there.
go there?
Yeah, a lot of people do go there because and there's the Don himself.
Don
That's
Bradman.
where the Bradman Oval is, and they play a lot of games there. A lot of international matches and stuff, and you don't have to pay to go and see it.
Really?
It's a public oval. Yeah, it's just
Oh, wow.
wonderful.
Beautiful.
Now there's another little town called Bundanoon, which is not all that far from Bowral. You go through Moss Vale. Bundanoon is a pretty little village. It's sort of like a Scottish thing, and there's the
Awesome
railway
train.
station. Oh yeah, you've got the railway going straight past. But it's really a Scottish village, and each year they have a huge Scottish games there, Scottish Highland Games there. But there's lovely little places.
Did you get to see that? Or
I was ducking the cabers, I can tell you that right
Oh,
now.
wow,
Every time I
fantastic.
saw a caber, I just ran.
Ran the other
but
way.
it's just like, but they've got a great little pub there as well where you can stay. It's just fantastic.
Isn't it awesome, these country towns here in Australia? We've got so many beautiful towns that we're not
We
aware
do.
of.
They are. Well, Bundanoon is not generally well known. And even in the Southern Highlands, it's one of these ones that you don't go. The town that everybody goes to is Berrima. Berrima is the most historic town there.
Let's have a look
It's
at some
just
photos.
a
I think we've got some photos of
beautiful,
Berrima.
beautiful place. So all these historic buildings, look at that. That is just a little
Oh, look at the
shopping centre
garden.
there. And I stayed behind there. I stayed in the motel that's attached to that. And it's just beautiful. They're all historic. Here's another. There's a great little rotisserie there and a fantastic little bookshop. And this is in the little main street. One of the first towns. That's Berrima
beautiful is that?
Jail. That is a very historic jail because they didn't put murderers or what they put in. They put high-profile prisoners in there, politicians and people like that. And this is a courthouse. This is the second oldest courthouse in Australia. This is the first courthouse in Australia where they actually had a trial by jury.
Oh, wow.
And it was horrendous. You go
Historic.
in there and you relive one of the big trials there. A man and a woman they killed her husband to get his money. And
So they acted out, do they?
it was all there. It's all sound and light, but they have figurines there that you can watch. It's very realistic, and the sentence was horrific. They were sentenced to be hung. They were then to be decapitated, and their heads to be sent to the forensic scientists, and they were to be buried standing up, so they would never be able to rest in peace.
And
It's just
imagine,
incredible.
and I assume there was no parole in those days.
There was no
once they cut
parole
your
or
head
anything
off.
like that, but it's a very good place, but fantastic restaurants.
There's no
there.
coming back from a place
There's
like that.
look, if you're not
Where
part
was
of
it
the
again?
jury-
I want to make sure. Berrima, I'll make sure I don't go
Get
there.
out of Berrima. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. You walk around the little town.
We should
and all the
recommend that to
buildings are
some of
historic.
the 6PR executives.
Well, I think we
that'd be a
should.
lovely
Yeah,
place.
I'd be on the jury for that one.
I'd
be on the
I
jury.
think there comes the decapitation. A great place to travel to.
Easy.
How's the weather? Like
Well, the
throughout
weather
year?
is cooler than Sydney, and of course you've got all these grand houses there, some of which are open to the public. You've got all these public gardens, so they're all private gardens are open, and they're acres. There's 6 acres, etc. But you've got a lot of other grand houses that are closed, that are private residences, because what happened was all the gentry from Sydney would go to the Southern Highlands to escape the heat of the summer, and they built these magnificent mansions. A lot of good restaurants.
So
there,
how do you
good
get up
accommodation
to get there?
Well,
By train?
I had a car. I drove. Certainly can go by train because, and if you've got a seniors card or a pension card, $2.50 return
I'd
from
find one.
Sydney. Unbelievable because there's stations all over. The only place that doesn't have a station is Berrima. Berrima was supposed to be the main town, but when they built the railway, it wasn't suitable for the railway. The land wasn't suitable, so they
Would
had
you
to-
build a railway there? No, your head's
No,
going to
not,
get cut off.
no, not at all.
You wouldn't want to get it wrong.
But I did see the prison train at the Trainworks Museum. That was pretty horrific as well. They used to cart them down there on the prison train.
What's it like for price?
Price is pretty good. I was paying an average of just over $100 for very good motels. I was staying in motels there. There's so many eateries there, great restaurants. They've got a 3-plate restaurant right
really?
opposite, right at Berrima, right next to the
Does
jail.
that mean they give you 3 plates, or is that a rating?
They've got Australia's oldest continuously licensed pub
Oh, wow.
right next to the jail.
I bet
you
they
know.
don't close down at 9 p.m.
No, they don't close down at 9 p.m. there. In fact, I went over, had a very good steak, cooked it myself because I like to cook
Beautiful.
my own if they've got the facilities. No, it's a great spot to go
Fantastic.
to.
So you recommend it?
And and the other places, there's lots of waterfalls there because there's a lot of water. And just beautiful place.
Good for families, or is
Excellent
it
for
somewhere
families. Excellent for people because if you like antiques and stuff, a lot of antique shops, a lot of antiquarian places like bookshops and places, all that sort of crafty sort of places as well. Really, really
Fantastic.
good. Wineries, heaps of wineries. A lot of people go down there for the food and the wine.
Sounds
So
amazing.
it's a great place.
Thank you very much for taking
Pleasure.
us up to the Highlands.
Up to
there.
the Highlands, yeah.
For more information, we can check out your website, which is, of course, radioroaming.com. If you want more information, there's interviews on there. Anything new that you want people to catch up with there?
What in the
On the
summer
website?
highlights?
On your website?
On the website, yeah. I tell you what, been doing some really good interviews with people. I've done some great interviews about Africa, and tonight I'm interviewing someone about the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia, which of course gets the biggest tides in the world.
Beautiful.
160 billion litres of water.
That's a lot of water.
Twice a day comes into the Bay of Fundy,
Fantastic.
which is more than every freshwater river in the world spurts out into the
As
oceans.
always, very informative,
Thank
very
you.
intelligent, and very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Look forward to the Christmas edition next week.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Christmas
as well.
destinations?
You're going to have food here, are you?
We are. I'll make sure of it. We'll have
Let's make sure nobody else gets any.
I think so. We could probably get here a couple of hours earlier.
I think so.
Make sure it's all served properly. Thank you very much, Steve Collins. Of course, RadioRoaming.com is where you'll find all his details. Someone that's never roaming, not far anyways, our very own Nisha Seth, and she's got Alfredo Malabello on the couch with her.
Thank you, Fred. Yes, I'm right here, and on to a lighter topic than that. Jail, I've got Alfredo Malabello. Welcome to the couch.
Hello, Nisha. Hi.
Now, Alfredo, you're a bit of a triple threat. You're a singer, you're a musician, and you're also an actor.
Yeah, go figure.
Now, you've had quite an interesting life up to now. Tell us a bit about your journey.
Okay, I mean, I've been a musician for most of my life, and being a musician and wanting to pursue the music career, it's a double-edged sword. It gives you a lot of pleasure, but it can also give you a lot of heartbreak and heartache. And it's very challenging on relationships, which in my case, it's cost me a few relationships. But it's funny, you know, because I've dedicated most of my life to wanting to achieve some level of, I guess, whether you want to call it, not greatness, but just some sort of financial independence in the music industry and be noted for something.
And you certainly have done that.
Well, thank you. It's taken a while, though. I mean, I've been traveling around the world for many, many years, playing piano and singing, had bands, and then got married, had children, and then traveled, and then, anyway, that all sort of exploded and fell apart. But we've got two beautiful kids out of it. They've got a great mum. I think I'm a great dad. But at that time, my life fell apart when the family fell apart, and I found myself walking in Coles in Subiaco and saw a public notice board which said acting classes. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do this because I needed a change. I needed some sort of fresh perspective of myself, where I was going, and I thought acting could give me something like that. So I joined and did acting classes, and then I did 2 years of that with a beautiful lady called Annie Murta-Monks here in Perth, and she teaches a lot of actors here, and she's a great teacher. And I did 22 short films and won a couple of awards on some indie, film festivals. And then an agent saw me on one of these festivals and got me to audition for a role in an SBS TV series. And then that led to me getting the TV series, which I played a singing chef, a father, for a show called Kala Comedy. And then, mind you, remember that I've always wanted to get a record deal in my life, and it's been really, really hard. So my life fell apart. I went into acting classes, got into an SBS TV show as a singing chef, and as a father for this Kala Comedy girl. And then SBS turned around and offered me a record deal.
Fantastic. I love your resilience as well, because, life does throw us so many curveballs, but you've kept going.
I'm very bruised underneath these clothes.
Oh, well, you're smiling now, and that's the main thing. So, I guess very inspirational for a lot of people that might be watching. It is a hard industry sometimes, isn't it, to break into?
It's extremely hard. You have to be, I guess, foolishly brave. Not too foolish that you can throw your life away, because you can really make some choices that can ruin you. But I guess this is where faith comes in. As I said to you before, as we're preparing for this interview, I'm actually a Christian man, but I've been a party animal all my life. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a Bible basher, but I do have a faith.
Partying with Princess Margaret.
Well, yes, that's. You remember all the juicy bits.
I love that story.
Yeah, I was playing piano for the Princess Margaret during the America's Cup. There was lots and lots of people from all over the world. There was the royal family of Monaco, and there were presidents from other countries. And Princess Margaret was here, and I was performing and playing piano and singing for her.
Wow.
And then and then she would wave at me when I was playing, and then she sent one of her security guards, like that, and he came up to me and says, Princess Margaret is most pleased.
Oh.
And he gave me a glass of champagne and she waved at me and I was sure she winked at me. In fact, I'll bet money on it. And then I was playing the piano and he left, security guard. She was waving at me. I had a sip of the champagne, put it down, kept playing. And then I bumped into something on the keyboard and there was $1,000 tip.
Oh, gee.
I kid you not,
Not bad.
$1,000 tip and a roll of money and Princess Margaret going,
Oh,
like this.
you can come again.
Yeah.
I just did Indian accent.
What an
I don't know what's
amazing,
going.
amazing thing. And since then, I've heard that she's quite a party goer. She loves frivolity and a bit of tipple. And yeah, cool
Lovely.
chick.
Lovely. You've got so many great stories, so we could sit here all day
know.
talking about those as
Let's
well.
do it.
But let Fred's telling me we've got a nice album to show there.
Yes,
for you.
anyway,
so tell us about your album.
I've had 2 albums with SBS and Universal Music, and then the music industry changed, where the record companies started to focus more on things like The Voice, Australian Idol, Australia's Got Talent. Anyway, we disconnected myself and Universal Music, and then it's taken me a couple of years to regain my footing.
Yeah.
So I started work on this album by using a crowdfunding website called Pledge Music. So I've pre-sold quite a few hundred CDs to get the money from my supporters to spend $30,000 recording this album.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be released through another record company called Ambition. Tina Rena, Olivia Newton-John, James Morrison, Leo Sayer, Wendy Matthews, Russell Morris. These are all eclectic adult artists, and now I'm part of that team. And February, the album's going to be released nationwide.
Well, hey, fantastic, and congratulations,
Thank
because
you,
know
Nisha.
that album cover looks very nice, looking very
I know, I need a
handsome
haircut.
and smart on there. Looking very good. Now, look, time does go so fast, but where can people find out more if they want to get the album?
First of all, you can go to my website, which is www.alfredomalabello.com, just like there on the TV. Or if you really get it wrong, just go Alfredo Malabello, Google, even if you go Alfredo Mulabulu or something, Google will correct you and you'll find me. I'm easy to find.
Well, thanks so much again for being on the couch,
worries, thank
Alfredo. It's always lovely to see you, and you're
Thank you.
jet setting across from east to west constantly, so hopefully we'll catch you again in the new year.
I'll have a nap. I'm tired.
Okay, and if you missed any of that, you can go to thecouch.com.au, of course. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much to Nisha, and thank you to Alfredo Malabello. He'll be back at the end of the show with a beautiful Christmas song. I would like to probably know more about this $1,000 tip. I want to know what it was for. So I reckon there's a story behind that one too, even though he was waving his hand and making out he didn't know anything about the tip. Thank you very much. I've got a tip for you, Alfredo. You need to tell us more about the story. But if you'd like to win one of these CDs, we've got a couple of them to give away. Easy. All you got to do is send an SMS to us with your name and address. Your name and address. Put the name Alfredo. You can spell it because it's on the CD, but you know how to spell Alfredo, A-L-F-R-E-D-O. You should know how to spell it. And we'll give 2 of those CDs away to people anywhere in the world and anywhere in Australia as well. 0439 929 99. We need to go to a break. Thank you very much to everybody for being in the segment. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Thank you.
This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Cafe Bella Vista Restaurant and Pizzeria. Azito, give it a go with Azito. Refresh Pure Water. And Reading Cinemas, experience the difference.
Welcome back to The Couch here on Aurora Television. This is our second last show for the year. Next week is our very big Christmas show, which starts at 6 o'clock in WA for those people who will be watching an hour earlier. Okay, Christmas is a time when many people give pets as gifts, but do they know who they're giving the pets to? And are the people who are receiving the pets in a position to look after them, especially when they grow up? To talk about that and more, we've got the RSPCA, and to interview them, we've got our very own Nisha. Over to you.
Thanks, Fred. Yes, we've got Marie from the RSPCA joining us today. Welcome.
Hi, thanks Nisha, great to be here.
Now, Marie, Christmas is a busy time, a fun time, but it's also a bit of a challenging time at the RSPCA. What are the key, challenges for you over Christmas?
I suppose one of the biggest key challenges is getting out some of the messages about responsible pet ownership to people in the public to make sure that mistakes aren't going to be made over Christmas that could have been avoided, particularly, I suppose, in relation to purchasing a pet at Christmas time. And we really want to get that message out to make sure people are making that purchase for the right reasons and that there isn't an impulse buy in there.
So people understand in the audience too what happens when you buy a pet and then all of a sudden you may decide, like the classic is, you know, if a parent buys their child a pet and then they end up taking care of it and it ends up being too much of a task, where does the pet go? You know, what happens?
I mean, obviously we would like to see that the pet remains with the family and the family learn to love that pet and, you know, go have that pet for many, many years going on forward. Unfortunately, many shelters will find that some months after Christmas they are a little bit inundated with people needing to surrender their pets, and this is really, really disappointing. And that's why one of the challenges at this time of year is to get that message out that if you are purchasing a pet, make sure that you've done your research, that you're prepared, that you realise, I mean, if we just look at dogs and cats, for example, that's a 15-year commitment. You know,
wow,
you know,
yeah,
potentially.
I've looked at it that way before. Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, it's not just great, it's Christmas, let's buy a puppy or let's buy a kitten or a guinea pig or whatever. This is 15 years potentially that you're looking at that you've got to commit to. So it is a lifetime and it can be really rewarding, but there's lots of things to go along with that as well. And one of the things that people do fall into the trap is they haven't actually looked at the financial commitment as well.
Right. Okay.
And that can be, you know, it is quite a lot of money. You know, one figure I suppose we could throw around, it does cost approximately $1,600 a year you would need to budget for to keep a dog, for example. So, so there's things that people need to think about as far as whether they're financially capable of looking after that animal with its ongoing costs and also for accidents or scenarios that might arise.
And also, I guess, you know, once you've made this educated decision though, in terms of the RSPCA, can people come to you to purchase a pet?
Absolutely, yeah. Look, we've got some wonderful pets at our shelters, and certainly adopting is really, really rewarding, giving that animal the second chance. And for some reason, I'm sure they love you just even that little bit more. Yeah. So, you know, there's a great variety of animals up for adoption, not just dogs and cats all the time, and sometimes puppies and kittens. So we certainly would advise people, first option when you think about getting a pet is to consider adopting.
Yeah, oh, that's lovely. And how else can people sort of get involved and help the RSPCA out?
Yeah, certainly I think people probably aren't aware that we aren't a government organisation, and here in WA we do receive some funding from the government. That equals only about 6% of what we need every year to keep looking after animals. So we'd love people to get involved with our Guardian Angel appeal at Christmas time. It's really, really special, and people who are making a donation will get allocated an animal that's currently in our shelter that they are a Guardian Angel for this Christmas time, and that's just through our website rspcaguardianangel.com. And yeah, you can jump online, make a donation, and then you'll be sent the link to discover who you're a Guardian Angel for this Christmas.
That's lovely, and it can also be in your state as well, so that in itself can be a great gift.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, it does allocate you an animal which is at the shelter closest to you. So you know it's really tangible, and that animal is really there waiting for a special home.
Wonderful. And now you did mention before that a lot of people get confused that the RSPCA is a government organisation. For those out there who know who the RSPCA just quickly are, but may not know all the facets, what other services do you provide the community with?
Yeah, sure. Probably the most visible part is our inspectorate team that are out on the road responding to cruelty complaints. So last year we received over 20,000 calls to our cruelty line, which is massive, and there was over 6,000 investigations done into animal cruelty. So we really rely on the public to be calling us and letting us know when they've seen something which is occurring with animals that just isn't right. And so we really are a community organisation, and that's something that we really rely on, getting people involved.
Wonderful, Marie. Look, it's so great to have you on the couch. I'm sure we'll have you again in the new year. But
would love to.
Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes.
And look, absolutely wonderful work that the RSPCA do. You can go onto their website to find out more, and a great gift idea as well, whether it's an educated decision around a pet or also the guardianship program would be lovely to get involved in. But for more information, of course, it's on thecouch.com.au. But back to you for now, Fred.
Thank you very much, Nisha. And yes, you can check out our website as well for all that information. And it is very important that you match animals to the people that you're giving them to. Because it's very, I find a lot of people love an animal, they want the animal, and then once they have it, they get bored with it or they realise it's not what they really thought it was going to be, and then they dump the animal. And we don't want that sort of thing happening because it's a costly thing and it's also very cruel. Okay, something else that's very cruel is the fact that charities don't have a lot of money. And Lifeline is one of those charities. They do a lot of work. If you know anybody or that may need help or advice, please get them to contact Lifeline on 131114. Rove McManus is the ambassador for a fantastic event this year. It's called Lights for Lifeline. He's got a couple of words. Here he is.
Hi guys, Rove here. Christmas is the happiest time of the year for many. It's surrounded by loved ones, sharing presents and home-cooked meals. However, for a lot of people, it can be the loneliest time of the year. This can lead to heightened levels of anxiety, depression and suicide. For Lifeline's 24-hour crisis support telephone line, the days leading up to Christmas Day and then into New Year are some of the busiest time of the year for these guys. Every 37 seconds, someone will make a call looking for help, and of these, 5% are from someone at a higher risk of suicide. So this Christmas, Lifeline WA is calling upon the WA community to help participate in the Lights for Lifeline campaign. Just put up a Christmas tree or a lights display and you or your organisation can help raise vital funds to ensure that those in need have someone to talk to and a place to turn. Because it costs Lifeline WA $3,000 to educate just one telephone crisis support volunteer. And every time someone calls 13 11 14, that's $40 it costs. So suicide remains the leading cause of death for Australians aged 15 to 44. So what we're hoping for is you can help us make a difference. Lifeline WA believes that almost all suicides are preventable and that by connecting vulnerable people with crisis support, these people can be kept safe. To donate and to learn more about how you can assist in the Lights for Lifeline campaign, please visit www.lightsforlifeline.org.au.
Time now to talk to one of our regulars. Dennis Law is back. Welcome back to the couch.
Nice to be here, Fred. How are you?
Not too bad. And I got rid of Nisha because I thought, I don't get enough opportunities to talk to you. It's Christmas. It's nice to have you here.
And talking of which,
yeah,
I searched out
it's about time
Christmas
you paid
card
the bill.
for you.
Oh, it's a Christmas card, is it?
No, it's a Christmas card.
Let me. Can I open it?
You can. Yeah,
is it real?
It is real.
Oh, that's lovely. Dear Fred, you owe me $100. Oh, no. To Fred, wishing you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, filled with happiness, good health, good luck, from Dennis and Helen. That's
there
lovely.
You go. Now, do you know how long it took me to find a non-denominational card, one that doesn't say Merry Christmas?
You probably would have been
like
luckier printing it yourself.
It took a while.
Why is that? Because everything is so driven by the Christmas tree and Father Christmas and the commercialism.
They appear to be focused on the commercialism and that side of things, where the Americans, God love them, they turn around and say Happy Holidays, which is what it is. But what we've done here is we've maintained what the elements of Christmas are all about.
The religious side of it, haven't we?
Absolutely.
And is that a good or bad thing, do you think?
Nothing's ever terribly bad, but maybe there's different good for different people. People see things differently, and that's what really got us thinking about this, because what we mentioned before was what will we talk about this week? And seeing if you've taken over Nisha's role,
yes,
I thought, well, what does Fred want to talk about?
Well, I did want to talk about the fact that Nisha left me a dress, but it didn't fit me.
No.
And I'm quite disappointed, but it's actually ripped now, Nisha, so you won't be able to wear it.
That's with you trying to squeeze into it, of course.
Well, yeah, of course, Nisha's a lot bigger than me. But thank you, Dennis. We're talking about Christmas and stress and all the other stuff that comes with Christmas.
Yep.
Do you know what? I reckon, Dennis, we cause our own stress when it comes to Christmas. I think we're so commercially driven that we expect to be a certain type of person doing the shopping 3 months before Christmas. All the shops have got everything there from about September. Have you noticed that? And Easter eggs are there from about January.
I noticed that.
Why have we become a society like that?
Because that's what they want us to be. And I use the word they. You know, all the big corporate people or your big shops, what they want is, this is the time of year when people spend money on Easter time, Valentine's. And then Christmas is, they can really kill that one for many months before, shopping time for Christmas and all that.
Well, I was amazed. Streamers and Christmas trees are available in about September. And you usually pay a lot more, guys, as well. I noticed the Christmas trees start off at about $80, and by now, being December, they drop to about $49.
I know.
Isn't
And
it
the
amazing?
closer you get Christmas, the cheaper they become.
And how can you help people go through this process?
Right. So what I'm thinking of at this time is the people who will suffer most at this time of year are those that have lost someone, right? And those that have got people away from home because there's work goes on and there's people flying in and flying out that are not at home. And guess what? The lady has to pick up the other side of it on her own. Go out and do the shopping. She's trailing the kids around her. She's responsible for getting everything ready. And if the guy happens to be, or the partner happens to be coming home on Christmas Eve, she's got to have it all ready for when he comes. Great amount of stress.
Yes, it would be.
But I particularly sympathise with those who on Christmas Day, for any amount of time, feel that loss, because they feel it tremendously.
Well, as you know, I've lost my mother
Absolutely.
in June, and,
Yeah.
and I think you brought that back to mind, not in a bad way, but I'm thinking this will be our first Christmas without her.
Exactly.
And it's incredibly hard to accept that, wow, after so many years, 46, 47 years, your mum won't be there anymore. How do we handle it?
I think the nicest way to put it is that you have a particular strategy. And I think if I was to think back to the day that, you had the funeral ceremony and all the rest of it, the nice thing that people think about is celebrate that person's life. They were here, they had a wonderful life, you had a wonderful relationship. Celebrate that.
See, I did that for her birthday in October. We celebrated by going out to
Absolutely.
dinner and celebrated the fact
Yep.
she did live.
Then would it not also be appropriate at Christmas that you recognise that it's there? And instead of making you feel awfully sad, there will be that element of sadness, of course, because you still grieve.
Turn
at
it
that
into a
time.
positive.
Turn it into a positive experience. Do you grieve at a particular time and say, right, okay, we've grieved for that person. Now let's celebrate what they would have celebrated at Christmas as well.
Can you help people through this process?
Absolutely, yes.
How can we do that?
They can do that by getting in touch with us in the first part.
And how do they do that? What's the
they
email
do
address?
that. Email address is protech, protech@bigpond.com.
And the website?
And the website is .au.
Beautiful, but
That's
nice
right.
and easy. Now, just before we go, because I know we're talking Christmas, someone's told me that you've just opened a new business
We
in
did.
Bunbury. Tell me
We
about
did.
that one.
Really exciting. We've taken a business down in Bunbury called Essential Beauty Bunbury, and they perform all manner of beauty salon therapies, IPL, makeup, piercings.
It's just a shame I'm not in the market for much of that sort of stuff.
I know.
I could be a model for you.
Well, you've got an open invitation, and we can do other things.
So IPL
as
is
well.
hair removal, isn't it, with the
That's-
special machines?
That's right.
And what else do they do? Essential Beauty?
Anything to do
Massage?
with no, we don't do massage.
I'm available if you need someone.
Oh, we'll have to look into that, Fred.
So how can people get involved? Because I mean, if they want more information about your new business,
Again,
is there
have a look
website?
at Essential Beauty on the website, and then look up the particular shop where you live, because
Yep.
it's
They're
Australia-wide.
Yep.
So look up the particular shop where you live, and you can even make an appointment online.
Fantastic. And is
Easy.
there any specials coming up for Christmas? Are there any good deals?
Oh, there is, but you'll have to look on the website for that.
Oh, thank you very much. Essential Beauty.
Essential Beauty, and we're the Essential Beauty Bunbury.
Well, I can see why you'd be the Essential Beauty representative.
I need a lot of
Because
therapy.
obviously I wasn't available, could I just say? Thank you very much. And your wonderful partner, Helen is running the store as well.
She's running the store, yeah.
So please, if you want to avoid Helen, ring him directly, because I know Helen. She's a wonderful lady. She works really, really hard, and she's really going to look after you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, as always.
Fred,
If people want
nice.
help to deal with the stresses at Christmas, get this
Contact
guy,
us.
Dennis Law, through our website, thecouch.com.au. The links are there. Hope to see you next year in one capacity or another. Maybe we can both put on our frocks and go
Well,
down to
next
Essential
year's
Beauty.
very, very
Are
exciting.
you going to give me a hint of what's happening?
I'm going to Vegas.
Oh, you're leaving the country. Have you done something bad?
No, done something wonderful. And we're going to learn some more wonderful hypnosis skills in Las Vegas next year.
Sounds exciting. Stay tuned for next year. That's Dennis Law. If you want more information about how you can contact us or how you can look up things on the couch, this is how you do it.
If you're looking for more info on anything you've seen on today's show, head to thecouch.com.au. It's where you'll find all the links for our guests, plus clips from the show, backstage photos, and even exclusive movie reviews. You can also sign up as a couchie and be part of our competitions, including Spin It to Win It. New Zealand viewers, that's open to you too. So jump online and check it out now. thecouch.com.au. This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Cafe Bella Vista Restaurant and Pizzeria. Azito, give it a go with Azito. Refresh Pure Water. And Reading Cinemas, experience the difference.
Very busy show, so let's get on with it. Nisha's got some great people from the City of Perth. Over to you, Nisha.
Thank you, Fred. Joining me on the couch today is the Deputy Lord Mayor of Perth, Mr. Rob Butler. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Nisha.
Now, the City of Perth, as per usual, is putting on a great affair over Christmas, but we do have a few extra events that are happening.
We've thrown a few surprises in there. I think the people of Perth will be very, very happy. But as a capital city, we find it our responsibility to put it on for the whole of Perth, not just for a few people in Perth. So, and it's certainly there, and we're putting it on to encourage people to come into Perth, of course, to shop, but to make it exciting for the kids when they do come in.
Absolutely. So you've got events that are both targeted at the kids, the family demographic, but as well for your risk takers, like the nice slippery slide I heard of first in Perth.
The slippery
first in
slide,
Australia.
look, it'll be fabulous when it does come in. It's the first time it's been in Australia, so the City of Perth said yes. Why shouldn't we? And I think everyone will be very, very happy when it happens. So with the weather we've got, I think it'll be quite special.
Fantastic. And some events that have already taken place, some of you may have gone to Polo in the City, and you've been for the last few years.
Wonderful.
So wonderful event.
Yeah.
What else do we have for the kids coming up, though?
I think if the kids go to what we call the chill out zone, which is Forest Place, there's the labyrinth and the fountain in there, which the kids love, and of course the parents don't. Simply because when they come in all dressed up, they'd love to run through the fountain. But we're putting deck chairs around the fountain this year, and at night, for every night from about 7 o'clock on, there's going to be this fabulous light show on the GPO, all Christmas themes across the whole GPO,
Beautiful.
Those sort of things. And of course you've got the large Christmas tree that's in the middle of Forest Place there. And one of the big events that's happening in Forest Place will be the Nativity, and that'll be very, very special. That goes from December 16 through to December 19, and very, very popular. Over 3 nights, and you really need to get in quick to get a ticket. So.
Yeah, so that's certainly popular, as well as the Northbridge Piazza, I hear, having some events for kids too.
Well, the Northbridge Piazza, with that the big screen, we screen some fabulous Christmas shows. We also have the Piazza Arama, which are special events for the kids, so they can enjoy the outdoor area there in Northbridge.
And Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without the carols.
Look, the IGA carols by candlelight this year, it's their 70th anniversary, and we really hope that people get behind it this year, because they want something bigger and bigger in the city. So.
Absolutely, and I don't know, the city has just seemed to open up. Lisa's done a lot of great work, our Lord Mayor of Perth as well, in promoting the city, but there's lots of bars and restaurants around all of these activities too, aren't there?
Well, I'm sure you can create a Christmas theme around small bars in the city, yes.
I'm sure they'll all be celebrating.
Well, all of our laneways that the city has spent a lot of money on to encourage the bars to open up in the city have all been lit up and have fabulous Christmas decorations.
And of course, when you organise all of these events, like you said, the City of Perth is organising for a diverse audience. So a lot of people come into the city. So transport is obviously something that plays into that. People can still catch the trains and the buses, and they'll all be operating during the time.
Oh, they certainly will. There'll be extra trains on and extra buses on. And the beauty about the trains now is that you can go right into the heart of the city. You can get out virtually at the Murray Street Mall, coming in from north and from south, and virtually walk into Forest Place. There it is. If you take the train, you can get the ferries from South Perth, of course, and you've got the express buses coming in from all over.
That's wonderful. And what about our large retailers too? Because I'm sure a lot of the ladies, sometimes men as well, I shouldn't pick, but everyone's laughing at me in the studio here, but sometimes the men as well. We've got the big stores now in Perth, so you can actually go during the day and do a bit of shopping before these events too. What are some of the big stores?
One of the things that Lisa and the council really push is vibrancy. But it's not just local vibrancy, it's vibrancy. What can we pick up from overseas? We want international people to come in. Well, we've just had Topshop open, and we've just had Zara open. And, Lisa and I travel quite often. And to me, you know, if you've got a Topshop or a Zara, I think you're well on your way.
You're on the map.
You're on
yes.
the map, yeah, that's great. And we've had a couple of retailers that have been in Perth for 122 years. I suppose I'm allowed to say them. It's Bets and Bets.
Absolutely, yeah,
Bets and Bets have been in the one store for 80 years in the Hay Street Mall. Well, circumstances have happened. They've now moved across the road. They've rebranded themselves. They've spent a lot of money. They're reinvesting back into the city. So the confidence is there from the retailers as well. And of course, we have the window decoration, Christmas decoration. So that'll be going up again this year, and people can actually vote on who's got the best window. So
and so
there's
you vote. Is there a prize?
Well, yeah, best window. You can win a window.
Best window. Oh, well, I guess you can use that as advertising. Best window.
Yeah.
We might have some live mannequins. They do that sometimes.
We
don't
did
they?
that, but that was a French organisation that came in. That was quite an interesting one, yeah.
So I guess in terms of going to the city, the key events, we talked about the carols coming up. Obviously, a lot of events have already happened. Going into Northbridge, the Piazza. Any others that I may have missed? There's so many.
But once again, I'll reiterate on the Nativity. That is a huge event, and the kids really enjoy that one. Yeah. And as I say, the lights in the Forest Place, and also the Piazza on the big screen. Look, but the other thing, of course, coming to see the Christmas lights, and the Christmas lights are very special. That's for everybody in Perth. That's not just for the few in and around that come in, because we do spend a lot of money on those lights, and we put a lot of effort into making them very special. Well, we think they're special, and we get a lot of emails saying, "Wow, you know, love the lights this year," and that really helps.
Yeah, look, Rob, on behalf of, I'm sure I can say myself, also the Couch, being involved in a lot of the City of Perth's work over the last few years, I think it's exceptional that you're putting all of these events on. We do see some of the background work that goes in, so we do know the City of Perth are investing a lot of time and energy. Thank you for coming and speaking to us on the Couch. I'm sure that people can go to, I think it's visitperthcity.com.
Visitperthcity.com, yes, that's the website, and you can see that, and there is a Christmas section in there. So.
Excellent. Well, look, we hope to have you on the Couch again, talking about other festivals, because I know that Piaf is on soon as well.
Have a look at Piaf. Some interesting events coming up in that one.
Excellent. Well, good luck for Christmas. Have a lovely Christmas yourself, and we'll see you on the Couch hopefully next year.
Same to the Couch. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Rob. Well, that's it from us here for now. Over back to you, Fred. But of course, I nearly forgot because I'm so excited about the City of Perth. You need to go to thecouch.com.au. If you missed any of that detail, you'll be able to pick up the show there. Back to you, Fred.
You just forgot that. Don't make excuses, Nisha. Move that couch and that table because Alfredo has to sing. I've taken the tree. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Alfredo Malabello is getting into position. Don't forget his fantastic album that's out. It's called Reflections. Don't forget alfredomalabello.com. Just Google it if you didn't get the details. Thanks for watching. We're going to go out today with a bit of a Christmas theme. It's called Have Yourself a Merry Christmas. You know what I'm singing. We're going to go. Catch you next week on our Christmas show. Bye.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Pretty soon your troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Pretty soon our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends that are dear to us, travel near to us once more. Through the years we
be together if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas night.
Merry Christmas, Fred. Merry Christmas, couch. Merry Christmas, crew. And Merry Christmas to all you beautiful viewers out there.
Faithful friends that are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we'll always be together if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas night. Ooh, and have yourself a merry little Christmas night.
Merry Christmas, Fred. Merry Christmas, everyone.
This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Cafe Bella Vista Restaurant and Pizzeria. Azito, give it a go with Azito. Refresh Pure Water. And Reading Cinemas, experience the difference.